Casting is one of my least favorite processes. I just hate the idea of sitting on a chair and having very talented people stand in front of you and they subject themselves to you and you say yay or nay. It's just like that. So it gives you sort of a weird warped sense of power, and I hate that. So I hate auditioning people, but I have to do it, right? Because it's part of the process. It's weird because for Mduduzi's character, I had an actor in mind whom I approached, and I said, I'm writing this for you. And I mean, the guy is very famous for comedy. I can say names, right? Yeah. Zakel. Yeah. He plays Kaleni on his band. And I wrote it for him because I felt like you'll see in the film there's a lot of sort of dark undertones and there's a bit of violence. But overall it's quite humorous. In a warped kind of way. It's funny. And I just felt it stood a risk of being too heavy if it didn't have somebody who's naturally light. So I really wanted Zakele to do it, and I approached him and we workshopped ideas and stuff like that, and closer to the time to shooting it just didn't feel right. And then one of my producers said, cool, I think I've got the perfect person for you. I'd never met Mdu before. Organized the meeting, I met Mdu. In the first 2 minutes, I was talking to him, he was just listening and looking right into my eyes. He didn't blink for like 2 minutes. Silence, no body movements, no nothing, just stuck looking straight at me. And for that 2 minutes, I saw the character that I wanted. I said, there he is. And after that I stopped. I said, cool, I'm not gonna say anymore, dude, you're cast. When do you wanna start? So I've always wanted to work with Lerato. People don't realize, I mean, I've been in the industry at many sort of levels, from being like a trainee to being like a camera assistant. It's the first time I met Lerato, I was actually a VT operator on Home Affairs. Can you believe it? Home Affairs, it's like, it sounds so long ago that. And I met her there and she was so powerful. And the nice thing about doing VT is like you set up the monitors and you literally stand right next to the directors and you look at the monitors to make sure it doesn't cut out, to make sure like the picture is clean and the colors are correct. And you know, like filmmaking is about what you frame and what you frame out. So as a VT op, you actually spend half your time on set looking at what is being framed in. So I'm standing there looking at what's being framed in, and Lerato is playing like a major role. And to see her in that little monitor and how much of a power actress she is, I've been meaning to work with her ever since. And I've been like hoping for the right time. And this was it. And I must say, I was freaking happy that we got Mdu. Because Mdu and Lerato had amazing chemistry, man. It made my life so much easier, you know. But I must also add, for like, you know, they say like your film is only as good as your antagonist, you know. I struggled with my antagonist, who's called Beef. You know, when I wrote the antagonist, I'd imagined this massive guy. Like he walks into a room and this guy's name is Beef and he's hardcore and he's got one eye and a freaking scar and like tattoos on his neck. That was kind of what I'd imagined. And I had a meeting with Munin, who actually helped me cast the film. And you know, Munin said one thing that completely changed my approach. Like Harriet said, what if Beef is big inside? Alright, what if he's not sort of a physical presence, but he's sort of emotionally he's big. And so that's how we ended up with Percy. He was in Number. Remember Number? The tiny guy who was always dissing Duke. Yeah. So Percy is like that tiny guy who's always dissing Duke in the Number. He's tiny, he's like right? So we flipped the antagonist and made the antagonist this tiny little guy who was big in his actions, and you know, and that was a lot of. It helped a lot because it added a very weird and strange but cool dynamic, you know.